All right, let's get started on lab 8.2, fireworks. In this lab, you'll add materials and textures to the fireworks. Basically, we're going to add color. Let's just say we're adding color. How about that? Goals for the lesson: make the fireworks colorful, create a night background, and render the animation. All right, open up your Blender and make sure that you have your fireworks version 1 open. And we're going to go to frame 1, hit enter. And oh look, I've moved everything around, so how am I going to tell what's what? I'm pretty sure that my first one is the one that I slid over to the left a little bit. Icosphere 1, it says it right up here. So if I right click on this one over here, it says Icosphere 2, so I can tell which one. All right, so go ahead and select Icosphere 1. I want to add a material to it. So click on the material button and then just right here click new. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to do is add a texture to this material. So then you can click on the texture button. Perfect. And you're going to click new. Perfect. And under type, we're going to click blend. All right, this is going to create a gradient, which is going to allow us to make color trails. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do then is kind of adjust this gradient so it's moving up and down instead of side to side. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and look for the mapping and look for coordinates. And you're going to change that to strand particle. Okay, and then under blend, I have to actually click my drop down to get it to open up. You're going to click on vertical. Very cool. Excellent. Okay, so now under this preview, under texture, you're going to click show alpha. And then let's open up this color window and click on ramp. And then you have these color bands down here, okay? So we're gonna just click and drag the right color band to the center. And we're gonna create a new color band. So click add. Grab that color band and move it all the way to the right. Perfect. Let's go ahead and save this version. I feel like we've done a lot of work without saving. So file, save as, and let's go ahead and call this version 2 and hit enter twice. Make sure that it has your first and last name at the beginning of the file. If it doesn't, add that now. Okay, and so now we can click on each of these. I'm going to click on the one on the far right and pick a color. Right here it says, if you hover over there, it says set the color. So you just click on that. And we're going to change alpha, the A, to 0 and pick whatever color you'd like. Let's click the far left color band. And we're going to change its color. It doesn't look like, there we go. Now it's selected. I'm not sure why it wasn't selecting for me at first. And we're going to make sure that alpha is set to 0. And then, wow, there is literally no color. Oh, it's because it's in the very middle. Let's see. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and bring my RGB values up. I'm not sure why they were set all the way to 0, but I'm bringing them up. So now I can move around and get the color of my choice. Okay, I'm going to go with an analogous color palette today. Analogous meaning that I'm going to pick colors that are next to each other on this color wheel. Perfect. And then we're going to select the middle, and that alpha channel we're going to leave at 1 and pick whatever color you want. So I'll go with the red. Perfect. Okay, we're going to do a whole bunch of settings, so brace yourself. All right, I want you to click on the material button, okay? And then you're going to click on the halo. All right. Under this halo window down here, if you have to open it up, go ahead. You're going to click alpha and enter 0. And then go back to texture. Okay, click the texture button and then look for influence. So scroll down till you find influence at the very bottom. You're going to click the alpha to check it. Ding. All right, now we're going back to the materials. And under this halo mini window, we're going to change the size to 0.05. Enter. And then under options, right here is options, we're going to click texture, and where's lines? Lines, okay. And then you'll change lines to 6. Perfect. And then click star tips. And let's change star tips to 9. And then how about click extreme alpha. Go up a little bit here and set the hardness to 62 and add to 0.9. Okay? All right. Let's do all of that again for the second particle. So let's right click on Icosphere 2. The first thing that we have to do is add a material. So I'm on the material button and I notice my scroll bar is at the bottom. Just slide it up and click new. Then we're going to go to texture. Make sure your scroll bar is all the way at the top if you're not seeing anything. Okay, then click new, and under type, select blend. Very good. Click show alpha. Nice. Click ramp under colors. Let's go down to mapping and change coordinates to strand particles. And let's click on that vertical button under blend. There we go. Perfect. Okay, under ramp, we're going to do the same thing we did before and move that color band. I'm going to have to click save. I think I'm running out of RAM. There we go. Get that color band in the middle and create a new color band and move that one all the way to the right. My blender's running a little slow. And same thing, click on the color band on the right and set the alpha to 0 and select the color that you want for that one. So I think I'm gonna do a similar color scheme. And select your left color band alpha 0, and once again, I've got to bring all of my sliders over to the right, otherwise I don't have any color. Very good. So now your middle, and make sure your alpha says 1 and select a color. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the material button and click on Halo. And then it says in Halo mini window to set the diffuse color of the material to 0. All right, so yes, this is the diffuse color here, and we're just going to take all of these sliders and move them all the way to 0. So it creates black. And then under, I think we might have skipped this step for the other one. We might have to go back and do this one. All right, and then we're going to click on alpha and enter 0. And then go back to the texture menu. And under influence, which is way at the bottom, we're going to click on alpha. And then go back to the material panel. And under Halo, set the size to 0.3 and hit enter. And then under options here, we're going to click texture. And then we're going to click lines. And let's make lines 4. And then we are going to change the line color. Oh, let's see. What color do you want your lines? I guess I'll make them a green color. Why not? I think I liked them white, but let's try color and see how it works out. All right, and then we're going to click on Star Tips, type 6, and hit enter. And then we're going to click Extreme Alpha and set the hardness to 82 and set add to 0.7. All right, well, hopefully we got everything the way it's supposed to be. And I do want to go back to that first icosphere and just make sure that we set the diffuse color of that one, and I don't think that we did. So let's go ahead and click on that and set the R, G, and B to 0, just like we did in the other one. Perfect. And then I'm pretty sure we did everything else, right? We got alpha set to 0, yeah. And then we, let's see, in the texture menu, we clicked on alpha. And then I'm gonna go back to the material. We set the size to 0.05. Okay, so I think everything else we did. I just skipped that one step on a mistake. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to Icosphere 2. And we're gonna turn off the render emitter. So click over here on the particle button, and we're looking for the render mini window. There it is. There's the render mini window. And then we're looking for the, okay, so just deselect emitter. There we go. That's how you turn off the emitter. So go ahead and right click on Icosphere 1. And we're going to do the same thing. Deselect emitter. Perfect. Good job. Okay, now let's do something fun. Let's go ahead and give it a background. So you're going to click on the world button. Looks just like a little world. Good. And then in the world mini window, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. We are going to click, set the horizon color to black. And to do that, you just set everything to 0. Okay. So just slide RGB all the way to the left to make it a black sky, a night sky. And then there's a stars window. I'm not seeing that. Okay, so apparently in an older version of Blender, there used to be a stars checkbox here, and I guess the users of Blender decided that it was unnecessary because most people who were really good at Blender use textures to create their stars. So we're going to go ahead and click on textures, bring your slider all the way up and click new. And the type of texture that you're going to use to create stars is Stucci. Stucci. Beautiful. Okay, and scroll down a touch. You're going to check off ramp, and we'll do that later. And go down to Stucci and change plastic to wall in. We're going to change the size from 0.25 to 0.001. Enter. Scroll down to influence, uncheck blend, and click horizon instead. And here's where it's about to get cool. Are you ready? Okay, so make sure that you can see your preview window and you see that it looks like, you know, back in the olden days, you might not know what this was like, but TV actually went off the air every night. There weren't any shows on in the middle of the night. Everyone went to sleep. So that's kind of how that looks. Haha. So just under ramp, you're going to grab that left slider and you're going to start sliding it to the right. And look at that preview window. Watch what happens. It's starting to look like Star Wars in here. Look at that. And so that's so cool. You can adjust and make your stars look any way you want them to. That is just gorgeous. Okay. But we're not done. Yeah, it was a lot easier when you could just click a button that says stars, right? Now, if you, on this preview window, if you look at world, okay, because we're in texture right now. If you look in world, oh, my world actually looks really good. Oh, interesting. The world that I saw previously. I think it's because we already changed our world. I don't know. I'm confused. Okay, well, our world looks great, so I think we're good from here. We can go back into world, probably. I'll just see where the tutorial is going from here. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to go into the world button. Okay, yeah. Looks good. Sweet. All right, now we're going to adjust our camera. So just right click on the camera, and they have actually given us some location settings that we're going to just mark. So this is going to be great. X and Y, we're going to set to 0. So 0, 0, and then Z is going to be -23. Enter. All right, so there's our camera back there. If I scroll out enough, I can see it. And then it says to set the rotation value of X to 180 and hit enter. All righty. this points the camera up at the fireworks. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm always kind of wanting to see. I might have to use my shift to scroll down and find my camera. But I guess it's coming from underneath looking up. It didn't tell us to change that Z value, so hopefully that's what they wanted on the rotation. Okay, I'm just going to hit, I'm just going to come over here really quick. I wanted to like see if we can preview the colors. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go and I'm going to press play for a second, and I'm just going to like pause it at a certain point. There we go. And I'm going to hit F12 so I can see what it looks like. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if it'll let me like screen. I'm going to just go through. Okay, maybe I'll go to like 20, frame 20 and hit F12. There's nothing there. Okay, I'm going to go to frame 5 and hit F12. All right, so it's not looking the way I thought it was going to look. I don't know if my camera is in the best location. I'm going to move my camera. I'm going to take artistic liberty and say, I don't think that's the best it can look. So go back into 3D view. And if you're feeling like you're not really caring about the location of your camera being all the way down there at the bottom, I recommend moving it because this is your production. You know what I mean? And you should have, you know, your production. I'm going to go to top view, hit 7, and I'm going to move my camera so it's like in front. Yeah, and then I'm going to have to rotate it. So I'll try doing my X rotation. Let's see here. I'm going to rotate that to 0 and see what that does. That goes down. I'm going to try 90. Okay, and then that Z is a little wonky. I'm going to set that to 0. Okay, maybe not. I'll set that to 90. Perfect. All right, and then let's see. Let's see if that captures it right. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit F12. See if I like that. Why are they so close together? I guess maybe I want to move them further apart from each other or something. They're like right next to each other. I'm going to change my frame and hit F12. Uh-oh, computer's slowing down. This is bizarro to me-o. All right, I'm going back into 3D view. That's weird. Those were like seriously not there a second ago. I guess I'm just a little bit confused about why they look like they're right on top of each other. I'm going to hit 0. Okay, my camera angle looks great. I did a nice job on that. I just don't understand why it looks like they're right on top of each other when I click the preview F12 button. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it though. I've done what I can. My job is done here. We're going to render, so click on your camera button to render. And of course, you need to go down and change the file type from PNG to AVI RAW. Click on your file browser and go into your 3D animation folder, into your Unit 8 fireworks folder that you created. And you need to name this with your first and last name, fireworks. Okay? And this is going to be an AVI file. You don't need to type it. It'll automatically enter it, and click enter twice. Perfect. Next, let's, I'm going to try to render this at Seemed like it was kind of taking a while. I can start at 50% and then just click on animation and see how long it looks like it's taking. So it's taking a while, huh? I'm going to go ahead and click the X up here and cancel that. I think I am going to go back into 3D view. And for my location, I think I want to move a little bit closer. I'm going to try and change X to 10. And then I might hit R, wrong way. Whoop. Hit R again. If you hit it twice, sorry, it'll allow you to rotate up and down. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just want to get in a little bit closer because I feel like I have too much sky, if that made sense. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to 25% because it's going pretty slow, and click animation. And hopefully that will render a lot quicker. Go ahead and pause the video while your movie renders. Okay, so mine finished rendering. It actually went really quick at the end. Honestly, I think the key to, you know, getting a good render is to make sure that you don't have, you know, 150 frames that you don't need at the end. So remember, I had my endpoint at 30. I'm going to click on render and I'm going to play my rendered animation. And it just doesn't look anything the way I thought it would. I'm not sure why I don't have 2 fireworks. If anyone figures out what happened, let me know. I have no idea, and I'm not doing it over. And if yours is like this too, you should neither. But hopefully someone can help us figure it out. All right, so go ahead and click save one last time. You are done. We just need to submit that. All right, go in and find your Dropbox. Click on your Dropbox, and you're going to submit your first name, last name, Unit 8 Fireworks version 2 Blender file, and your first and last name fireworks.avi movie file. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend.